My beloved child, can you feel it? Everything around you is trembling. Every opportunity, every summons, every sign I have patiently sent, and yet you still hesitate. Something dreadful is drawing near, not to punish but to reclaim what I once longed to save. The distance between life and ruin is now only a few heartbeats, and I myself, am holding each one of them to pull you out of the widening abyss. Do not make me call in anguish when the loving fury of my heart has already reached its final threshold. I have spoken in the midst of 1,000 noises, yet my voice has become small among the vanities you chase. There are some I no longer call, not because I have forgotten them, but because their hearts are overflowing with refusal. And you, the one hearing me now, are no better than they are. It is only that you still tremble whenever I draw near. There are those I called in the depth of night when every light had gone out and only a whisper rose from the innermost place. But instead of turning back, they pulled the blanket over their heads, hoping to silence that voice as though it were an illusion. They did not know that very voice was the last rope I lowered into the chasm to lift them out. A tragedy does not begin with a fall, it begins with ignoring an outstretched hand. And because they rejected it, the chance did not return. Whoever has remained, do not think you are sturdier. It is only that your hearts have not yet grown so calloused as to refuse once more. Do you know those who were not kept because they were wise, nor because they stood out among the crowd? They were simply the ones who knew how to bow when I spoke, who knew how to stop when I knocked. In a world that worships noise and artificial light, they learned to value the small beginnings, the place where I still quietly sow life. The things despised by the world are what I use to testify of the kingdom that cannot be shaken. Listening is the first step of obedience. And those first steps, however small, however hidden, are recorded and remembered in heaven. But do not think that remaining is enough. When the roar sweeps away, those who rejected the faithful will be tested by fire, not to be consumed, but to be refined. Just as I once spoke through the prophet Malachi, he will be like a refiner's fire, and like launderer's soap, your hearts will be cleansed through the blows. Those who stay will have to undergo discipline, for I do not use anyone who has never been broken. The noise out there will drag many off course, but whoever knows how to be silent to hear me in the chaos, that one will be made into an instrument for a purpose greater than himself. Remember Jonah, the man who fled from my call. I sent him to Nineveh to proclaim repentance, but he chose the sound of the waves over my voice. Jonah thought that if he did not listen, everything would pass him by. Yet right in the belly of the fish, in that absolute silence, he heard me the clearest. I spared Nineveh, not because they deserved it, but because they listened when I called. And Jonah, the one called first, had to learn the bitter lesson of my heart at the end. Do you see? The one who is called is not always the one who understands my heart most. Sometimes the one who is kept is the one who knows how to repent and obey in time. My beloved child, there are things I only whisper and do not shout because I want you to listen, not to be coerced. But I have called, I have knocked, I have used every way to stir your heart in a world drowning in clamor. And what grieves me most is this: many have been called, yet they walk as though no one ever spoke to them. Like seed that fell along the path, my voice has been trampled by the indifference of souls that keep chasing after gentler, more flattering sounds. They chose the familiar over the true sensation over life. And when everything collapses, they turn back to seek me. But they no longer hear anything except the confusion of their own hearts. Because I have called, and you refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no one paid attention. Proverbs 1:2-4, my child. Some are kept, not because they are steadfast, but because they tremble before me. They do not walk because they see the path clearly, but because they know how to stop when I have not yet permitted. They do not seek my voice only in glory, but listen for it in the dull days, in the seasons, when no one says anything but silence itself. No one applauds them, no one knows their names, but I see. I record every tear that falls in the night, every hesitant step in faith. You know, heaven does not inscribe the names of the successful, but remembers each one who remained faithful on days when there was no reason to endure. Do not mistake my silence for absence. That is when I am teaching you to walk without holding my hand. And there are also those who think that because they have not yet been judged, they are fine. They do not realize that the opportunity I give has an appointed time, not because I wish to limit them, but because the human heart softens only for a brief moment and then turns to stone again. I have seen so many souls unmoved by the last time I knocked. It was not that they did not hear, but that they did not want to stop. They have grown accustomed to a kind of false silence, a place without me that still makes them feel at ease. My voice once rang out among countless sounds, but because they did not choose to hear, there will come a time when that very noise will swallow them. I am not mute. They no longer have ears to hear. Do not think yourself better than anyone because you can still hear me. The one who remains is not the one without weakness, but the one who knows how to turn back when weakness comes. I delight more in the smallest surrender than in splendid promises that go nowhere. Do you remember the tax collector in the temple? He did not dare lift his face. He only beat his chest and said, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." And he, not the glittering priest, was the one I declared righteous. The chosen are not chosen because they deserve more, but because they know they deserve nothing at all, and yet they still choose to stand still when I come. Therefore I plead with you, do not rush away. Do not let a hardened heart lead you into a silence where I am no longer present. Do not let my voice become only a memory, an echo from the past you can no longer hear again. A call always carries responsibility. Once you have heard, you cannot ignore it forever without paying a price. But if you choose to remain, I will be there. I will soften your heart with mercy, wash your stains with truth, and guide you with my very gaze. Those who refuse will be swept away, but whoever dares to stay will be refined by my fire, not to be burned, but to be purified, to be prepared for something higher than you ever imagined. When remaining is no longer passive silence, but a full yes, you will begin the journey of collisions. Their faithfulness will not only be words, but each step taken through the fire with me. My dear one, there are days when I will no longer keep you on the shore, but lead you straight into the blaze. Not because I have grown weary in mercy, but because my love is deeper than every tender feeling. True love does not shield you from the hardships you need. It lets you grow through every headwind, every meal without human comfort. I see that you have chosen to stay, but that staying cannot remain standing still forever. Faithfulness that is never tested is only a fragile zeal. I do not build my kingdom upon what is brittle. I need you to learn to walk through fire without being burned, to pass through waters without being drowned. For when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Isaiah 4:3-2. More than once, you have asked me why delay keeps stretching on, why the promise has not come as swiftly as your first hope. I hear it all. I keep every quiet whisper in my eternal memory. But you must know this, there are promises that only reach maturity in the dark, that only blossom after the fiercest convulsions of faith. Every pearl is born of pressure, and every warrior in my kingdom must be forged by sorrow. If you have never been misunderstood, abandoned, pushed to the limit, then the faith in you has not yet struck root. The days I make you walk through fire are not the days I am far away. They are the days I draw closest, only that my light then is so piercing you, do not recognize it. Let me speak plainly. The battle you are facing is not because you have done wrong, but because you are walking right. The enemy never disturbs a soul that is asleep. It only attacks those who are waking up, rising up, beginning to say yes when there is no reason left to hope. Distraction, weariness, fear, these are the weapons it knows best. But I have promised no weapon formed against you will succeed as long as you still bear my seal upon your forehead and my truth within your heart. When the world says you are wrong, but I say you are right, then you are right. Yet you will only keep that rightness if you dare to stand without needing people to agree. Do not think that being hidden is rejection. There are seasons I make you disappear, not because I have forgotten you, but to shield you from what your eyes are not yet ready to see. I know you long to see results, to see fruit, to see recognition. But if you could see what I am protecting you from, you would give thanks for this delay. You are a work under construction, not a product for display. And everything I allow to come, even closed doors, strained relationships, long, lonely nights, is my hand carefully chiseling you. Do not step out of the furnace midway, because what I long to birth in you cannot come from an untroubled life. You remember David, don't you? The one I anointed when he was still a boy. But did you see me place him straight on the throne? No. Before the throne came the cave, the spears, Saul's jealousy, the years of being hunted, misunderstood, cast aside. And it was in those very years that David learned not to raise his hand against his enemy, even when he could, because I had taught him that victory does not come from opportunity, but from obedience. If I taught David this way, do you think you will be exempt? No, my dear. For only in the fire do I teach you what is more precious than gold. So do not ask me when it will be over. Ask me what you need to learn. Do not long to step out sooner. Long to step out with a heart no longer the same. Do not wish for the road to be shorter, for I do not lead those I love by shortcuts. I lead them through the deepest places, so they may know me as I truly am. Not the me of sermons, but the me of every tearful night, every faint morning of hope, every midday when the soul is still empty. And there you begin to realize what keeps you standing is not what I have given you, it is me. My child, once the fire has searched every part of your heart, nothing else will be able to hide. The truth in you, the motives in you, the love in you, will either be refined or be exposed as false. It is in the fire that I draw the line between good and evil, light and darkness, genuine and counterfeit. I will not let you remain in the in-between. This season of purifying is not only so that you may become stronger, it is so that you may choose your side. I will not let you bear my name while your heart still wavers. In the midst of the fiercest trials, I am not looking for applause or for tears that rise from passing emotion. I am looking for loyalty, even a silent one. I do not need you to be flawless, but I do need you to be decisive. And when you begin to live without double-mindedness, when your heart no longer runs after other voices, then I will cause my presence in you to blaze like a lamp that never goes out. For now, you are no longer one who has just believed, but one who is ready to be sent. My beloved child, there are times I let the dust rise and cover the whole sky so that you can see nothing except your own heart. For light only becomes precious when darkness has once swallowed every direction. And when the dust has settled, when your emotions have quieted, when the noises that used to lead you have fallen silent, that is when I call you to look straight at what you once avoided, the truth about yourself, about the things you have been worshiping without even knowing it. I do not expose to condemn, I expose to set free. I do not bring you into the light to shame you, but so that you will no longer be bound in that sweet yet deadly darkness. You thought you were standing firm, but in fact you were leaning on cracked staffs. You thought you were obeying, but in fact you were following a version of me that you built for yourself. The danger does not lie in what is clearly evil. It lies in what has been gilded with religious language and praised by spiritual forms. Do you know Satan does not always come with horns and a tail? It comes through those who teach lies as if they were truth, who preach grace without repentance, blessing without the cross. And these are the very things that blur your eyes, that make you reject me while thinking you are serving me. The enemy does not need to steal everything. It only needs to shift your direction slightly, just enough so that you walk away from my will without ever realizing it. I once said, "But if the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" Matthew 6:2-3. That is, when you are living in darkness yet convinced you are walking in the light. Be watchful. Idols are not only carved images placed on an altar. They can lie hidden in your heart, wearing the shape of a dream of fame, of the longing to be seen and approved. It may be the person you love, the work you pursue, or your very self, the quiet self that keeps demanding control and satisfaction. An idol is anything you cannot let go of, even when I ask for it. It is the thing that makes you compromise, that makes you turn my voice down so you can keep its voice loud. And when you can no longer tell the difference between what is good and what is right, between kindness and righteousness, the idol has already taken the throne in your heart without needing to make an announcement. I do not come to compete with idols. I come to overthrow them, because I know this: if I am not the absolute king in your heart, sooner or later you will be devoured by the very things you serve. The world will applaud you when you succeed through deceit. It will cheer when you compromise with wrong in the name of peace. But I did not call you to be accepted by the crowd. I called you to live upright before me, even when you are misunderstood, even when you are hated, even when you are alone. For light is not born to be liked, it is born to expose. Will you dare to stand when everyone else chooses to bow? Will you dare to speak truth when silence seems wiser? Will you dare to live differently, straight, honest, righteous, even when you know it will cost you much? That is the battle of the anointed. Not against flesh and blood, but against a dark system dressed in light. The battle is not first out there. It begins inside your own heart. And if you do not win there, every victory outside will only be a mirage. I do not need you to become a prominent person. I need you to become pure, in heart, in sight, in motive, in speech. For these very things will determine whether you are mine when all the dust has settled. I know this is not easy to hear. I know you may keep quiet now or walk away like the rich young ruler of long ago, sad because he did not dare to let go. But if you choose to stay, if you choose to smash the idols in your heart, I will step into the room that used to be locked out of fear. I will restore the throne that belongs to me, and from there you will live, not merely survive, but live free, live in power, live as an unshakable witness. For my light in you will no longer flicker, but burn steadily. And I myself, will use you as a torch in a dark hour, as a trumpet blast in a silence that only pretends to be peace. My child, when I anointed your forehead, I did not give you a title to tuck away in a drawer waiting for a convenient day. I did not place a calling on you so that you could hide it behind gentle excuses. I gave authority not so you could feel comfortable, but so you could carry life for yourself and for those I place along your path. There are things I will speak only through your mouth. There are people who will be saved only if you dare to speak. And there are seasons in which your silence will strangle what I have sown simply because you were afraid of being seen as different, of being mocked, of being isolated. My child, if you do not speak, who will? If the one I have touched still hides, then what truth will be proclaimed in this generation? I know you are afraid. I know that to stand and tell the truth in an age of itching ears is no easy thing. I never called you to the wide road, but I also never sent you to walk alone. When you open your mouth for truth, I will give the words. When you lose for my name, I will be the reward. Do not assume you will be loved. Do not expect to be supported. Even I, the sinless one, was called a troublemaker, and if you choose to follow me, you will be hated. But remember, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. John 1:5-20. It is not that you are doing wrong. It is that you are walking so rightly that it collides with what people want to hide. Do not think only those who preach from a pulpit are anointed. If I have touched you, if your heart has once burned when you heard my voice, you have been set apart. No stage is needed, no microphone, no title, only a sincere heart, only a single yes spoken while everyone else chooses silence. You will be misunderstood, that is certain, but I will vindicate you in my way. You may be misrepresented, cut off from old circles, but I will bring you into the place of the real. And when the truth in you begins to sound forth, I will work. Your words will not be spoken to fill empty space, but to pierce the false coverings the enemy has been building for years. I am not calling you so that you may become remarkable, but so that you may stand firm. I am not looking for the eloquent, I am looking for the honest. You may not speak smoothly, you may not win everyone's favor, but if you keep truth in your mouth and integrity before me, every word from you will be like an arrow, straight, sharp, and reaching exactly where it must go. Do not lower your head when truth is mocked. Do not step aside when I lay my hand on your shoulder. There are moments when silence is betrayal, and you were not born to betray what you once wept to receive. I have laid my hand on you, not so that you may sit still. I have breathed a fire into your heart, not so that it may fade in the name of safety. If this world needs anything, it is not more polished sermons, but real people. People who dare to live, dare to speak, dare to lose, only to keep their faithfulness to me. If you are one of them, I will stand behind you. Not with applause, not with fame, but with a peace no one can take, with a presence that keeps you from trembling before any power. I do not want you to dodge it anymore. Now is the time to stand up straight. I have seen your heart pass through the fire. It no longer craves applause, and it no longer needs borrowed halos. I have seen your steps, no longer tangled by the calls of the world. And so I say this to you, softly, but enough to make heaven and earth listen. The time of fulfillment has come. No more delay. No more wandering in circles to relearn old lessons. The door I open this time is not to test, but to enter. Not to consider, but to receive. Not to hope from a distance anymore, but to actually live in what I have promised. I have said within myself, long before you knew me, when the time comes, I will act swiftly. Do you not see the things you once thought would never happen? I have finished in a single morning. What was delayed was not rejected. What seemed lost was in fact hidden. And now, because you no longer cling to the old, I can bring you into the new, the better, the deeper, the more enduring. But you must let go. You must take your hands off what I am no longer in. You cannot carry the luggage of the past through the door of the future. I have made the river burst forth in the desert, but you must choose to step in to let the water reach your feet. Do not expect the door to look the way you imagined. True blessing does not always come wrapped in glory, but it always carries life. I may lead you down a small road to bring you into a large room. I may place you in a place no one has heard of, but that very place will be the cradle for a season of influence greater than you can think. I do not repeat myself, I do new things, and whoever is faithful with little, I will set over much. In this season, I am not playing at rearranging positions, I am rewriting destinies. For those who have remained faithful through the years of being forgotten, through the days when no one called their name, through the moments they felt invisible, now they will know I never once forgot. Go, but go not with haste, go with solidity. Do not fear what you have not yet seen. Do not doubt just because everything is quiet. Movement is not always loud. Some fulfillments come in silence. like a sprout breaking through the soil at dawn. Some miracles happen inside your heart before they are shown outside. But you will know, you will see. You will sense that something is changing, because I am walking with you not just at the beginning but all the way to the end. The joy of this season does not need a reason from circumstances. It comes from knowing you are exactly where I want you to be. The peace of this season does not come from the absence of storms, but from knowing you are in the boat with me. And the hope of this season does not have to rest on human approval. It rests on my word, which once spoken will not return void. Rejoice, but with a deep joy, not a performed one. Be at peace, with the kind of peace that makes others marvel. Hope, as if you have already seen what no one else has yet seen. And then as you walk, you will carry the fragrance of heaven with you, not by lofty speech, but by the very way you live. You will sow seed not only with your hands, but with your tears, with your faith, with every time you refuse to give up. You will see others turn back not because you are impressive, but because they can sense the aroma of grace on you. And in that way, the journey you once thought was yours alone will draw along the souls I have appointed. That is why I kept you. That is why I have refined you. And that is why today I place in your hand the key not only for you to enter, but to open the door for many others. Everything you have done to remain faithful, to honor me in the midst of hard choices, has already been inscribed in eternity. Not a single act, however small, has escaped my loving gaze. I saw you when you still opened your hand to share, even while you yourself were in need, when you chose silence to keep peace instead of replying in bitterness, when you quietly knelt to intercede for others on nights when anxiety covered your soul. The world may ignore such things, may regard them as ordinary, but I, the one who knows every beat of your heart, have smiled. Heaven has risen in praise for every small seed you sowed in hiddenness, is what makes the difference between darkness and light. You did not seek the spotlight of men, but chose the glory of the heavenly realm where reward never fades. The tears you shed in solitude were not meaningless. I have gathered every drop in my golden vessel. There is not a sigh you breathed that I did not hear, not a prayer you prayed that I did not understand. And now, in the time I have appointed, the seeds you once planted in parched ground will spring up into a radiant field of flowers. Your perseverance will not be in vain, for I have prepared a harvest that is yours alone, a harvest no one can steal. Yet, beloved child, do not mistake this to mean that from now on you will no longer have to fight. The road ahead is still rugged for those who walk in the light, become the very ones the darkness longs to surround. I have not promised you an easy path, but I have pledged my abiding presence. When you must cross rushing waters, I will stretch out my hand to keep you from sinking. When the fire of testing closes in, I myself will be the breath that softens its flames, so you are not harmed. The enemy will not relent. He will use every scheme to wear you down. He will make you question what you believe. He will whisper fear into your heart that I have forgotten you. But you must carve this deep within you. My word is truth, and it never changes. No weapon forged against you will prevail, for I have covered you with the armor of righteousness. Though the storm may howl and the sea may rage, my hand will hold you steady. You are the jewel in my hand, the treasure no power on earth or under heaven can take from me. Whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye, the very thing I guard most. Therefore do not fear when darkness gathers, and do not lose heart when you feel alone. My silence is not absence, but the way I prepare something greater to come. In every moment of your waiting, I am working in the unseen, arranging all things so that blessing will be poured out at the right time and in the right place. Keep walking, even when you cannot see the whole road, for faith does not demand full daylight. It only needs to know that I am holding your hand. Every trial is an opportunity for me to prove how strong my love for you really is. When you are weak, that is when my power is made perfect. When you no longer have strength to move forward, I will carry you on my shoulders. And when you think every hope has gone out, it is in that very night that I will light the lamp to lead you home. The world may measure worth by success, but I look at faithfulness. The world may forget your labor, but I will never forget. Hold your heart steady, for what you do out of love will never lose its effect. Every word you speak in kindness, every small act born of sincerity, has a reach far beyond what your eyes can see. You may not see the result immediately, but time will reveal it all, for what is sown in tears will be reaped in songs of joy. I want you to know that even when you are misunderstood, opposed, or pushed to the margins, I am using those very things to train you to stand firm. No trial is wasted. Every pain has a deep purpose. Just as gold can only be refined by fire, so your soul can only shine through affliction. When you suffer for righteousness' sake, you are not alone. I am there, standing beside you, sharing the weight with you. I will not let you be struck down beyond what you can bear, for I know your limits, and I have measured everything before allowing it to come. Do not be afraid when others do not understand you. Do not let your heart be shaken by the voices of this world. Lift your eyes to me, for in me there is a peace the world cannot give. Let your heart find its rest in my presence, for only in me will you find the true meaning of all that you are walking through. Each day, when you choose faith over fear, when you choose love over resentment, you are weaving the garment of glory for your own soul. I see it, I honor it, and I will reward it. My appointed time is drawing near, and in the moment you least expect, the promises I made to you will blossom. Then you will understand that not a single tear was wasted, not a single season of waiting was meaningless. Everything you have gone through is a perfect piece in the loving plan I have for you. Beloved child, stand firm, though the wind may blow hard and the ground may shake. Remember that your roots are planted deep in me. No power can uproot a soul that has anchored itself in everlasting love. I have set my seal upon your forehead, and no force can erase it. Keep moving forward in faith, for your light will flare up in the night, guiding the wandering back to the true light. I am with you today, tomorrow, and until the very end of all time. At times you do not realize that every moment which seems to pass without meaning is being quietly woven by me into a marvelous plan. You see only darkness, but I see a picture taking shape where every broken shard of pain is being fitted together to create something more splendid than anything you ever dreamed. When you sit in stillness and think, there is nothing left to hope for, I am still at work in the deepest places of your soul, planting the seeds of a new spring in the dry field of trial. Understand this, my blessing does not always come in the form you expect. At times I wrap blessing in the garment of loss, in refusals, in closed doors, so that you may learn that true faith does not sprout in ease, but is forged in the furnace of adversity. Some things I delay not because I forget, but because I want your heart strong enough to carry the blessing without being crushed by it. I am not the one who gives and then abandons, but the one who leads you step by step, breath by breath, so that blessing comes at the right time in the right way to the right heart. When you look around and see others being lifted up, while you still seem to stand in the shadows, do not rush to doubt. Every soul has a journey I myself have ordered. Some are allowed to bloom early to shine for others, and some must remain longer in the dark, so that the roots of faith grow deep, so that when their season comes, they will not only blossom, but bear fruit sweet enough to feed generations. After them, the blessing you are waiting for has not been lost. It is only being kept in my wisdom. Just as a seed must be buried in the earth, hidden in darkness, in order to break open and then rise into life, so your blessing is being nurtured in the days that seem hopeless. I know it is hard for you to understand when I am silent, but in that silence I am teaching you to listen with your heart instead of your ears. For there are things I do not speak in words, but I write them in love, in every tear you shed, in every time you chose to rise, even when you had no strength. Child, remember this: I never let your pain pass by in vain. Every crack in your soul is a place where my light can enter. When you think you are falling apart in truth, I am remaking you so that you will not merely survive but carry my glory. I take what you call failure to build wisdom. I use what you call loss to bestow compassion. I turn what you think is the end into the flame that lights an entirely new journey. And when you look back, you will see that not a single moment in your life was meaningless. Even the missteps became the road that led you back into my arms. Even when you were not faithful, I remained faithful. For my very nature is love, and that love is not limited by human weakness. Sometimes the blessing I give is not something you can hold in your hands, but peace in the storm, steady faith in the face of doubt, a small yet enduring light to lead you through the long night. I will make you understand that not every good thing must come early, for what comes later often carries the greater weight of glory. You will see that I am not only the giver of blessing, but the one who trains you to be worthy of it. I do not want you only to receive, but to mature, so that you can keep it, share it, and cause it to multiply into goodness for the world. For true blessing is not only to be filled, but to be transformed into a source of blessing for others. Believe that every tear you shed is counted by me. Every sigh you release does not escape my listening. I am not as distant from you as you imagine. Even when you find yourself wandering in the wilderness, I am making a way in that desert. The rivers I cause to flow are not only in the realm of the material, but within you streams of life, of restoration, of cleansing away all that is old to prepare for the new thing I am about to do. I will restore the dreams you thought had died, but this time they will no longer rest on your own will. They will be built on the foundation of faith and pure love. What you thought was dead, I can bring to life. What you believed was lost, I will return abundantly, even more than before. Do not worry if you do not yet see the result. A tree without fruit does not mean the soil is useless. Everything unfolding in the quiet has its purpose. When you are willing to believe, willing to be patient, you are co-writing with me a story of glory. One day, when the curtain is drawn back, you will see that all the suffering, the waiting, even the prayers that seemed unanswered, were all notes woven into the symphony of grace. Then you will understand why I did not give you what you wanted, so that I could give you what you truly needed. For true blessing is not temporary abundance, but a soul at peace in every circumstance. If ever you see everything falling apart, lift your eyes to me. For I am the one who makes what is ruined new again, who fills what is empty with grace. I do not merely patch up your wounds. I recreate you, so that very place becomes a witness to my restoring power. Those who look at you will see me, will see a love that can do what seemed impossible. And as you go on living in faith, that light will spread, touching the souls that need lifting just as you once did. You will not only be the one who is saved, but the one who, through the story of your own life, carries salvation to others. So then, my child, do not fear the road ahead. Even if you walk through wilderness or storm, I am still the one who keeps you. My blessing cannot be faded by time, nor can it be stolen by others. It is still moving toward you at the exact moment I know you are ready. Keep walking, for every step of faith you take is opening a way in the wasteland, is causing rivers to flow in the desert, is writing a story that only you can tell. For the greatest blessing is not in what you receive, but in what you become, one who reflects my light in the world. If you understand this, you will see that everything, even tears, even wounds, even small joys, is a gift. And when you give thanks in the midst of trials, blessing is no longer only something to wait for, but something you are already living in moment by moment. For I, the one who made heaven and earth, am also the one shaping your heart, so that every beat of it resounds with the song of hope and of a love that never fades. Though you cannot see everything, every breath you take is in my hand. What I entrust to you is not just so you may gain your own glory, but so that through you my light may shine into places where darkness seemed to have won. You are a small lamp lit in the long night, and your faithfulness, however hidden or seemingly small, can awaken hope in souls grown cold. When you obey, it is not only an act of faith, it is also a song of praise rising from the ashes of your trials. You do not see it, but every step you take is tracing a path that will lead others back to the true light. There are souls that will be revived by a single word you speak in the Spirit, and there are hearts that seemed forever shut that will be softened simply because you kept choosing to love, kept choosing to forgive. I did not choose you because you were strong, but because I desired to display my power through your weakness. When you tremble, I remain steadfast. When you are confused, I still hold your hand and write. In those moments that seem meaningless, I am weaving the purpose of your life with the threads of grace and mercy. Do not despise the small things, for in the quiet I am still at work. When you whisper a prayer, you do not know that all of heaven is moving in response to it. When you bow your head when your tears fall, I do not stand far off. I gather every tear, turning them into seeds, sown in the soil of your heart, so that one day the flowers of hope will bloom. Every prayer of yours, whether brief or choked with sobs, stirs the courts of heaven. You do not need to run to what is loud or dazzling, for the fragrance of my peace will flow out from you yourself, spreading through every glance, every breath, every grace-filled silence you carry. When you stand among others, it will be your peaceful presence that calms the storms within them, because it is not you, but I who dwell in you. Believe that your very presence is a living testimony to everlasting love. I have trained you in hidden days to prepare you for weighty moments. Every delay, every season of waiting, every time you thought I had forgotten you was in fact when I was teaching you to be patient, to trust, to see beyond passing feelings. It was the stage where I refined you like gold in the fire, so that when you came out of the furnace of trial, you would shine brighter, stand firmer, and walk humbler. You do not realize that there were battles I kept you from facing, not because you were weak, but because I knew the time had not yet come. I shielded you from what could have crushed you, and in that hiddenness, I worked quietly to shape your inner life so that when you step out, you will no longer be shaken by human praise or criticism, but will set your heart only on what pleases me. You have been formed through losses and taught through stumblings. Every wound has become a place where I poured the oil of healing. Every crack in your soul has become a gateway for my light to enter. Therefore, do not be ashamed of what is past, for I have turned those ruins into treasure so that you can sympathize with and lift up others. You will discover that what you once thought was adversity has become the very instrument through which I fulfill my greater purpose in you. Those dark nights were not wasted. They were the firm foundation so that your light would blaze even brighter when dawn comes. Remember that I am the one who never wastes anything. Every pain, every fall, every long silence, all of it is being woven into the story of my redemption in your life. What you call failure, I call a lesson. What you call loss, I call preparation. For with me, nothing is accidental, and everything, joy and sorrow alike, is working together for the very best I have ordained for you. When you look back, you will understand why I let you go through those turns in the road. It was those very bends that taught you to slow down, to listen, and to see me in the midst of what seemed random. You are not alone, for I am right there, in every beat of your heart, in every drop of rain on your cheek, in every sunbeam slipping through your window. Let your weakness become the shelter of my power. When you have no strength left, I will carry you. When you fall, I will lift you up. When you despair, I will breathe faith into you again. I do not ask you to be perfect. I ask you to be willing. For the miracle is not in ability, but in surrender. And in that surrender, I will reveal my glory, not through what is grand, but through what is humble, not through force, but through love. You were chosen not because of merit, but because of the love I have for you. That love does not fade no matter how many times you stumble. Rise up, wipe your tears, and keep walking, for you do not walk alone. My hand is holding yours, leading you through every deep valley. Let your trust become your song. Let your gratitude become fragrance before me. One day when you look back, you will smile and say, "In truth, God never left me, not even for a moment." And when you live with that awareness, you will see your life flooded with grace. Everything becomes meaningful, even in trial. You will understand that nothing in my hand is ever wasted. Every drop of sweat, every sigh, every moment of perseverance is weaving a tapestry of glory that only I can see in full. I am writing your story, a story not perfect, but wrapped in perfect love. Keep going, my child. Do not be afraid when the winds rise, for the storm only drives your roots deeper. Do not lose heart when you are misunderstood, for it is in those very moments that you are being refined to reflect me more clearly. Let your heart remain tender in a harsh world, for that tenderness is the proof that you still belong to me. And then through every season you will see nothing has been lost, only transformed. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I will be faithful to complete it. Everything I do in your life has a purpose, and every step I lead you to take is toward the light. So keep believing, keep walking, keep loving, for I am still here, not only the distant one on high, but the Father who walks beside you, the teacher who guides you, the friend who never betrays. And when you open your heart, you will feel that presence, gentle, warm, steady, like the breath of peace covering your whole soul. This is the purpose I have for you, not merely to live, but to become a flow of life, not merely to understand, but to radiate, not merely to be loved, but to become love. And on that journey you will realize that everything I do is good, and everything I promise, I will fulfill. There will be moments, my child, when the darkness of doubt will try to veil the light within you. The words of people, the whispers of the world, will sometimes roar like a storm, making you question even the very calling I engraved in your heart. They will say you are not good enough, that you heard wrong, that the dream you pursue is only an illusion. But do not let your heart be shaken, for I am the one who has seen what they cannot see. I am the one who placed within you a fire no one can quench, no matter how hard the winds of life may blow. You were chosen not because you were flawless, but because I saw in you a willing heart. When I called you, it was not a mistake. It was a holy intention set in place before the beginning of time. Even if you stray or grow weak, my hand will still reach out to lift you and lead you back to the path of your destiny. You will hear advice and reasoning that sound logical, prudent, even wise, that you should compromise, settle for less, live safely and quietly, like everyone else. But child, I did not create you to blend into the crowd. You were born to be different, to stand and reflect, my light in a world slowly dimming. Do not let fear choke your dream. Do not let the voice of the world drown out the promise I spoke into your heart. My calling does not rest on human approval, nor does it need to be accepted or praised. When I speak, all creation moves. No one can shut the door I have opened, and no one can stop what I have ordained. Even if you feel everything is slow, even if the road is rough, remember, my timing is not man's timing. I am never late. I arrive at the very moment you need me most. At times you will feel weary, as if you are walking through a desert where every prayer seems to vanish into thin air. You will ask, Lord, do you hear me? Have you forgotten me? But my child, I have never been silent out of indifference. I am silent to train your faith, to teach you to hope even when you do not see. Every word you whisper in the night, every tear you shed, is recorded by me. None of it is lost. It rises like sweet incense before my throne, and at the right time, when the flower of faith has fully bloomed, you will receive the answer swifter than breath. I am still working in the silence like a seed quietly sprouting beneath the ground. Though your eyes do not see it, life is multiplying. You may think your steps are small and make no difference, but believe that every step of obedience, even one taken in the darkness, is weaving the wondrous tapestry of my purpose. Everything you do with a faithful heart is a golden thread that ties you to the promise I have given. Keep persevering, for not a drop of your sweat or a single tear is meaningless. When you sow seeds in tears, you are preparing for a harvest filled with laughter. And when you do not see results, it does not mean the ground is barren, it only means the harvest has not yet come. Do not stop sowing, do not grow weary in tending, for I am the faithful one, and I will bring your season in glory. My beloved child, do not compare your journey with anyone else's. Each soul is its own melody. Each life is a painting with my brushstrokes. If you keep looking at others, you will forget the beauty I am shaping within you. Remember, I did not call you to be a copy, but to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. When you follow my call, you are walking a path no one has ever walked before. Even if others do not understand, even if they mock or despise you, guard your peace. Do not argue to prove your worth, for the fruit of faith itself will speak for you. A day will come when people will see my hand upon your life, and they will know that it was I who did it all. Keep your heart tender, but not weak, strong but not proud. When you are hurt, do not let the pain turn you into a bitter person. Let it make your heart deeper, kinder. For I do not only want you to finish the work, I also want you to become the one who reflects my nature, full of love, patience, and truth. Every trial is a furnace, and in it I am refining you like pure gold. Let that fire burn away what does not belong to me, so that you may step out radiant, pure, and strong. I know there are times you feel alone, that no one fully understands you. But you are not alone, for I am there in every breath, in every step you take. When you look around and see no one, close your eyes and sense that I am right beside you. I never leave you. When you fall, I do not despise you. When you are weak, I do not turn away. I lift you up, wipe your tears, and say, keep going, my child, for you have not yet finished the journey. Every time you rise after a failure, my light in you shines brighter. And child, do not fear closed doors. Sometimes I let a door close, not because you were wrong, but because you are worthy of something greater. When you see the door before you not opening, do not despair. Lift up your eyes. Perhaps I am preparing another way, a wider, stronger door. I am the one who opens, and no one can shut, and I am also the one who shuts, and no one can open. If I have said that you will go, no power can stop your steps. If I have promised that you will attain it, then even if the whole world doubts, my word will still stand. Keep your heart faithful even when you do not see results right away. Be patient in silence, steadfast in prayer, and loyal in the smallest things. For it is in the small that I test your heart. It is in the waiting that I measure your faith. When you are faithful with the little, I will entrust you with the much. When you do not stop believing, I will make what seemed impossible become reality. Do not chase after miracles, for you yourself are a miracle, living proof of my power at work in the ordinary. And finally, my dear child, always remember that I do not measure your worth by success or failure, but by the heart you give to me. Whether you walk through storms or sunshine, hold your faith firm. When you are weak, I will be strong for you. When you lose your way, I will guide you. When you lose everything, I will still be there, the one who never changes. My love for you surpasses every mistake, every limit, every distance. Let that love be the strength that upholds you each day, so that you may not only live, but live abundantly, brilliantly, and fully in my light. Do not fear the future, for it is already in my hands. Just keep walking, even when you cannot see the whole road, for my light will shine on it one step at a time. I do not need you to know everything, I only need you to trust. When you believe mountains will move, seas will part, and wonders will happen. Every tear you shed today will become the stream that waters tomorrow's garden. Every sacrifice that seemed useless will bloom into a harvest full of blessing. You only need to keep your heart keep moving forward, and remember, I, the one who began, am also the one who will finish. Do not be afraid when you see darkness all around, for right in that very night, my light is being kindled. People see only what eyes can see, but I, the one who holds both the seen and the unseen, am weaving a picture in which every detail, even the smallest, has meaning. When you see things collapsing, it may be the very moment I am laying a new foundation for your life. When doors close, I have not abandoned you. I am simply leading you to another way where true glory and peace await. There are seasons you must walk through in silence, without laughter, without understanding, but know that in those quiet spaces, I am deepening the roots of your faith, training your inner being, so that you will be strong enough when the harvest comes. The seeds you have sown with tears, with faith, with loyalty, are quietly sprouting. Even though you do not yet see them, I am still tending each tender shoot with my loving hands. Do not be shaken when I take away something you once treasured, for I never take without giving something better. You may think that loss is the end, but in truth it is only the beginning of something deeper, a new life purer and more secure than ever. You will one day realize that some people were sent only to teach you the lesson of letting go, that some relationships existed to shape your heart, and when the time came, they had to leave. I allowed it not to hurt you, but to free you from the ties that kept you from stepping into a higher calling. I know your heart has trembled, has feared it would no longer stand, but it is precisely in the moments you are exhausted that my strength is made perfect. You do not have to understand everything, only trust that everything is within my plan and nothing is meaningless. Let me be the one who holds the wheel when you sail through the storm. You only need to take small steps in the light I give you for today, for I will take care of tomorrow. When you choose trust over fear, you open the door for me to act. I have seen your tears fall in long, lonely nights. I have heard your sighs when no one listened. Not a single prayer of yours has fallen to the ground in vain. I keep them like precious jewels in my hand. In due time, I will cause them to blossom into blessings, into joy you could not have imagined. When I seem to delay, it is not because I have forgotten you, but because I want to give you what is whole, not broken, not half done. My timing is different from yours, but mine is always perfect. If you could see as I see, you would understand that every step you have taken, every person you have met, every tear you have shed, has been used to weave a sacred assignment. You are a beautiful work I am completing, and I never leave a work unfinished. The wounds you carry I will turn into places of healing for others. You will stand firm, not because you are strong, but because my grace upholds you. The weakness you once felt ashamed of will become the place where I display my power. Do not try to figure everything out on your own, just let me lead. Even if the road winds, even if the slope is steep, I will not let your foot slip. When you are tired, I will carry you over the rough ground. When you lose your way, I will light the lamp for your steps. Let your heart rest in me, for true peace is not found when everything goes smoothly, but when you know I am still in control. The harvest you have been waiting for is nearer than you think. Every drop of sweat you have shed, every trial you have endured, is a seed for a season full of grace. A day will come when you look back and give thanks that I did not let everything happen the way you wanted, but in the way that was best for your soul. Keep your heart soft, though the world is hard. Keep your faith, though the darkness is thick, for it is that very faith that will lead you into the place of radiant light. I know there were nights you collapsed, thinking you could not go on, but I was there quietly placing my hand on your shoulder and saying, "Stand up, for you have not yet reached the end." Every time you fall, I do not look at you with reproach but with compassion, for I understand your weariness more than anyone. I do not demand perfection from you. I only desire faithfulness. Faithfulness in today's small steps. Faithfulness in guarding your heart when you see no result. For it is in that faithfulness that miracles begin. I have placed a fire within you, and no matter how strong the storm blows, that fire will not go out. It will blaze when the time comes, shining for those who are lost, just as you once were lost. You will become living evidence that my love can turn brokenness into strength, tears into testimony, ashes into beauty. When you learn to trust, you no longer need to control, and when you stop struggling, I can move freely in your life. I did not promise that the road would be easy, but I promised that you would never walk it alone. You will see unseen arms lifting you when you thought you were about to fall. You will see doors open where you once thought there was no exit. Let gratitude lead you each day, for gratitude will open your eyes to blessings even in adversity. I am teaching you to recognize the beauty of waiting, of the process of believing before seeing. For it is in that very in-between that you become more like me, patient, kind, humble, and strong. And one day when the harvest comes, you will understand why you had to pass through those storms. You will smile through your tears, knowing that every pain had value, every loss carried within it a hidden grace. And then you will walk on with a grateful heart, no longer blaming the past, no longer fearing the future, because you will have realized I never left you, not even for a moment. You only need to remain in my love, and I will cause your life to blossom at the appointed time. Because of love, I am never late. I always arrive at the appointed time to heal, to build, and to bring you into your truest self, the radiant, complete, and most blessed version of you that I have ordained. You are the one I have set apart, not because you are exceptionally gifted or have reached the summit of merit, but because in the depths of my heart I saw in you something precious that the world cannot measure. You are the proof of my unconditional love, the one I have chosen through whom to reveal my kindness, my power, and my glory. When I look at you, my heart rejoices like a father who delights in his beloved child. I call you by name, not as the world calls one another with cold titles, but with a call filled with the meaning of mission, of destiny, and of the sacred communion between me and you. Whenever you grow faint, remember that I have never left you in the dark. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, of love, and of unshakable steadfastness. That power does not only help you overcome trials, it makes you a source of light to others who are still drowning in the darkness of doubt. Do not let fear shrink the voice within you, for that voice is my own resounding in your soul, inviting you to walk in the faith and authority I have entrusted to you. Stand firm like a tree planted by streams of water. Though storms may come, your roots remain deep in my love and my grace. Even if the world turns its back, even if bitter words surround you, remember that I am the one who defends you. No one can determine your worth but me, for I am the one who holds the scales of justice, and I will vindicate you at the appointed time. Do not seek the approval of people, for my approval is already enough for you to stand tall and walk in full confidence. There will be days when the weight of the calling seems to crush your soul. You will feel small before a task that is too great. You will ask why I chose you out of so many others. But my child, it is precisely in the moments when you feel the weakest that I do the mightiest works. When you collapse in weariness, I lift you up with a handful of mercy. In your brokenness, I pour into you a new life. You think you have reached your limit, but in truth, that is only where I begin to act. Let me fight for you are not carrying this assignment alone. I am the strength behind you, the driving force within your heart, the breath that keeps you alive and the light that guides your steps. Pause when you must, not to give up, but to hear again. My heartbeat, beating in rhythm with yours. I have never wanted you to become a lonely hero, but one who knows how to lean on me, who knows that true strength does not flow from pride, but from humility, rooted in trust. You may not yet see the whole picture. You may not yet understand why you must walk through such testing roads, but nothing that happens is outside of my plan. I am training you as the potter kneads the clay to make a vessel of honor. Every crack, every wound has value, because it is through them that my light will shine out. Believe that not a single tear of yours is wasted. They are seeds for the joy to be reaped on the day I finish the work I began in you. When you are weak, I do not reproach you, for I know well the frame of man, but I long for you to return to look up and to see that my grace is still sufficient for you. Do not fear walking among thorns, for your feet are shielded by my promise. Do not hesitate to speak, for your words carry the breath of the Creator. When you speak in my name, heaven and earth will move, for those words are not yours but mine through you. Walk with the posture of one who is sent, not of one who is groping in uncertainty. Every step you take has meaning. Every act carries eternal weight when it is birthed from faith. You do not need to see the whole road to believe. You only need to know that I am walking with you. You do not need to be perfect to be used. You only need to be willing and faithful. I do not look first for the strong. I look for those who trust. For out of weakness I make strength. Out of lack I bring forth abundance. Out of loneliness I call forth community. You are an instrument in my hand, and no instrument in my hand is ever without value. My beloved, do not let the noise of the world make you forget my voice. Be still, and know that I am God, the one who rules over all things, and also the one who draws near to take your hand. When you are betrayed, remember that I understand that pain more than anyone. When you are misunderstood, I am the one who knows your heart perfectly. When you feel lost in a sea of people, I am the haven of rest for your soul. Nothing can separate you from my love, neither death nor life, angels nor powers, things present nor things to come. You are covered in everlasting love, and that love is the armor that keeps you from every evil. There may come a day when you stand at a crossroads uncertain of where to go. In that hour, do not lean on your own understanding, but turn your heart toward me, for I will show you the way you should walk. I do not promise that the journey will be easy, but I do promise that I will never abandon you. I do not guarantee that you will never stumble, but I do guarantee that every time you fall, there will be a hand to lift you up. Learn to see life through my eyes, to see in suffering an opportunity in loss, a grace in trials, a maturing. When you learn this, you will realize that the very things that once terrified you have become the stepping stones from which you rise higher. You are not only one who has been saved, you are one who has been chosen to bring light into darkness. I have placed within you a flame that nothing can extinguish. Do not let it be smothered by doubt or comparison. The world needs to see me through you, to sense my presence through the gaze, the smile, and the kindness you show. When you live true to your calling, you become a living witness of unchanging love. Let your life be the love letter I send to humanity. A letter not written in ink, but in deeds and in a heart that loves. If you grow weary, rest in my arms. If you are confused, listen for my voice in the gentle breeze. If you are in pain, let your tears fall into my hand, for every drop I remember. Remember that you are not an accident. You are a part of the eternal plan. No failure can destroy you if you still hold tightly to my hand. Keep going, even if only one small step at a time, for what matters is not speed but perseverance. And my child, when you look back on the road you have walked, you will realize that the roughest stretches were the very places where I was most clearly present. I have never left you, never ceased loving you, not for a single second. Believe this, for it will be the lamp that guides you through every darkness. You not only bear the name I have called you by, you carry my heart beating in your chest. Therefore live worthy of it, strong, loving, faithful, and full of hope. For I, the one who chose you, will walk with you to the very end. Beneath the vast sky veiled with gray layers of doubt and fear, a gentle call rises from the depths of the soul. Take refuge in me, and I will uphold you. That is not merely an invitation, but a sacred covenant between the Creator and the created, between the inexhaustible fountain of strength and the frail heart seeking its way home. In every step a person takes, though there are dim turns, stretches of road covered with dust and tears, there is still an unseen hand, ready to catch, to lead, to wipe away the drops that fall because of hurt and disappointment. For no soul was meant to be born to carry the whole world alone. It is in those moments that seem the loneliest, when the heart trembles before the storm, that He quietly draws near, bringing the lamp of faith, lighting the path you thought had been swallowed by darkness. He says, "Pour out your heart before me, and I will refresh your soul." Hidden there is a wonder. The refreshing does not come from what is outside, but springs from within, where the heart is reborn in the peace of the Spirit. When you empty out your fears, your pains, and your stubbornness at His feet, the streams of living water begin to flow again through a parched soul. It is a miracle that is neither loud nor showy, yet it can revive a heart that has been dying slowly under worldly burdens. And then you realize that no burden is truly too great when it is shared with Him, for He has borne the yoke with you. He has bent down beside you in the days you thought you would collapse. That yoke, when carried in love, is no longer a chain, but becomes the sacred bond between man and God, between weakness and omnipotence, between despair and hope. I will teach you to rest in me, even in the midst of battle. Perhaps this is the hardest lesson for man to learn, to rest in the storm. The world teaches you to seek peace by avoiding conflict, by silence and withdrawal from chaos. But His peace bears another meaning. It is the peace that does not come from the absence of battle, but from His presence in the very midst of the whirlwind. When the soul is anchored in Him, then even if the storm roars, the heart can remain as calm as a clear lake beneath the dawn. That is the power of faith, what enables a person to stand, not because he has no trials, but because in the trials he finds Him. My child, I have chosen you for this very hour. That word is like a seal upon the destiny of every soul. No one exists in this world by accident. Each person is created with a commission, a role in the great tapestry of the divine plan. The darker the world becomes, the more your light is called to blaze. For light is not born to flee from darkness, but to drive it away. When you feel isolated, when people oppose you, because the light in you unsettles them, that remember that this is not a sign of error, but the proof that you are living true to the mission entrusted to you. For the one who is in you, that very source of light, is greater than any power in this world. At times, you will ask, "Why me? Why now?" But the answer is always hidden in the silence of the Creator. For when you no longer have strength to walk, He will be your feet. When you have no words left to pray, He will be your breath. When you have no light, He will be the dazzling dawn at the end of your road. You are not the product of randomness, but the result of a sacred plan prepared before the world was formed. Every tear, every wound, every fall has a purpose: to train your soul to become steadier, firmer, and more complete in love. Your life is a journey between light and shadow, between hope and doubt, between life and fading away. But the greatest thing does not lie in your conquering the world. It lies in your learning to trust Him in the midst of every adversity. The world may wear you down, but He will renew you day by day. The world may make you question your own worth, but He sees in you a light that even you have not yet seen. In His eyes, you are not a lost soul, but a lamp lit to shine in the night. And no matter how small that light seems, it is still enough to rekindle faith in hearts that have grown cold. Do not be afraid when darkness draws near, for only when the night descends do we truly recognize the worth of light. Let His love be the fuel that keeps the flame within you burning, so that no matter how fiercely the winds of life may blow, that light will not be extinguished. For you were not born to hide, but to stand upright in the midst of this world, carrying within yourself faith and compassion. The world may mock you, it may refuse to acknowledge you, but He will never forsake you. Whenever you bow your head in weakness, He will place His hand upon your shoulder and say, "Do not fear, I am here." And in that very instant, every burden grows light, and every fear dissolves like morning mist before the Sunday. O soul that longs for rest, remember that true peace does not come from the world changing, but from your heart being changed. When you learn to pause in the midst of the storm to listen to His voice, you will discover that everything is unfolding according to a perfect plan. Even the things that seemed like mistakes are necessary parts of the journey that help you grow, become stronger, and draw nearer to Him. Therefore, do not seek to run from trials. Let them become the springboard by which your faith is refined like gold through fire. One day, when you look back, you will realize that every thorny step you took bore His footprints beside yours. Every time you stumbled, He did not walk away but bent down to lift you up with His unconditional love. It is in the moments that seemed most hopeless that you will see His presence most clearly. For when you have lost everything and only He remains, that alone is enough. The light within you has never truly gone out. The moment you turn back and fix your gaze on Him, it will blaze again, stronger, warmer, purer than ever before. Therefore, walk on with courage and with peace. Do not let fear be what defines you. Let faith be the path that leads you. Do not let the world decide your worth, for that worth was engraved in His heart from the very beginning. You were born to live in love, to shine, to bring hope to other souls. And whenever you feel you have no strength left, remember that there is a hand always outstretched, waiting for you to return, waiting for you to lay down your burdens and fall into that safe embrace. This is the secret of true rest, not when you have nothing left to fight, but when you know who it is that fights alongside you. And when you realize that He has never been far from you, your heart will become light as the wind, free as a bird flying in the open sky. For His love has no beginning and no end. It is the everlasting embrace that gathers up every fault and every weakness, and from them brings forth a new person, a soul that knows how to live, how to love, and how to rest in the One who created it. This is grace, the priceless gift of the Holy Presence, the source of peace in the storms of life, the light that does not go out in the night of despair. And you, small as you are in this vast universe, have been chosen to bear that light. So walk on, though the road of life is still long and filled with trials. For He walks with you at every breath, in every breeze, in every tear, all of it held within that limitless love. Every season you have passed through, which seemed to you only like quiet stretches of the journey, was in fact a time when I was weaving invisible threads of training, of testing, and of hidden blessing into your life. Not a single tear you ever shed was lost in meaninglessness. They sank into the earth so that one day they would bear the fruit of faith and steadfastness. Every failure, every loss, every moment when you felt you were wandering alone in a barren wilderness was but a small chapter in the great book I am writing for you. A story not only so that you might see yourself in the light of transformation, but so that the world may come to know my power through your life. You are not merely a traveler on your own road. You are a living testimony to my faithfulness, a wordless proclamation of the eternal love that is still at work in this world. Therefore, know that not a single moment of your life is wasted. I have used every gust of wind, every long night, every choking sob, every fragile ray of hope to shape you into the likeness of one who is chosen. When you stand in a place that seems shattered, it is precisely then that I am laying a foundation for something new. When you do not see me, I am still there, quietly building, healing, arranging. And when the time comes, everything I have spoken will begin to unfold before your eyes like a painting drawn in light, where every detail bears the imprint of my hand. You will marvel, you will weep, you will tremble with holy awe, because you will know that it was not your effort, not your wisdom, not your strength that accomplished it, but my mysterious grace, grace that surpasses every human reasoning. And in that moment, you will no longer wish to keep the glory for yourself, because your heart will know that every good thing has sprung from my hand, I, who have patiently led you through a road that seemed without end. My beloved child, I am still with you, no matter how lonely or lost you may feel. I am on your side, and if I am for you, who can be against you? Hold fast to me. Do not let go, for I have never let go of you, even in those moments when you thought your hand had slipped from mine. You may stumble, you may grow weary, you may doubt, but I see deep into your heart, into that place where there is still a spark longing for me, even if it is only a tiny ember in the storms of life. I know you have never willfully turned your back on me. You have only been tired, only been lost, only been wounded. But there are some out there who have chosen for themselves another path, the path of darkness, where they not only forget me but reject me with hostility. They have opened themselves to what is evil, even bowed before what is not the true and living God. They have allowed wickedness to creep into their souls, making it a dwelling place for sin. Even so, I, the one who is slow to anger and abounding in mercy, have not been quick to punish them, because my heart still longs for their return. But child, there are boundaries which once crossed leave no way back. Not because I refuse to forgive, but because their hearts have turned to stone and no longer have the capacity to taste what is good. There are choices that are not merely a drifting from me, but a declaration of war against the very essence of light, a rejection of the holiness I have planted within humankind. That is no longer error born of ignorance, but rebellion born of hatred and pride. They do not only oppose me, they delight in their darkness. They call evil their joy, they make wickedness their glory. They mock purity, they sneer at truth, they exalt what is wrong as though it were the standard. And when the spirit has been wholly seized by darkness, every call to repentance becomes meaningless, because their hearts have shut themselves to my light. Child, guard your heart to keep it pure. Do not let bitterness, resentment, or wounds from others harden it. For what I long for most is not your perfection, but a heart that bows before truth, that knows how to weep when it has sinned, that knows how to return in humility. When you fall, I do not cast you off. When you are weak, I do not depart from you. It is precisely in your weakness that my power is made perfect. Let me work in you, for every attempt to save yourself by your own strength only leaves you more exhausted. My grace does not come from merit or worthiness. It is a gift no one can buy with money or achievement. You will see that in every trial I never abandoned you. Every time you felt pressed to the very edge, that was when I opened a new way. Every tear you shed I counted. Every sigh you breathed I heard. And every time you called, even with the faintest whisper, I answered with unchanging love. For I chose you not so that you would live in fear, but so that you would become light in the darkness. I am leading you into a new season, a season of fulfillment. There the old promises will no longer seem like distant hopes, but will become radiant reality. You will see clear evidence of my hand, not only in obvious miracles, but also in the simple things you once overlooked. A chance encounter, an open door, a timely word of encouragement, a dream that reminded you. All of these are my signs, the ways I whisper to you, I am still here. Child, remember that I am the one who never changes. The world may turn its back, people may misunderstand, but I do not shift. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are afraid, I am your peace. When you despair, I am your hope. When every door has closed, I am the way. Do not let the clamor of the world drown out my gentle voice within you. Keep faithfulness, for it is that very faithfulness that will bring you to the place I have prepared. Remember, I never begin anything I do not intend to complete. And when the day comes, when you see all things brought to completion, you will understand every season you walked through, whether warm and bright or stormy and harsh, was necessary to prepare you for that glory. Just as a seed must lie hidden in the dark earth before it can sprout, so you have endured seasons of burial so that the divine life in you could grow. Do not fear the lonely days, for it is then that I teach you to hear my voice most clearly. Do not resent the seasons of drought, for it is in drought that you learn to drink from the deepest well, the place where I dwell. My child, when I say that I am with you, it is not merely a promise, but a living reality. My love is not a theory. It is a river that runs through every valley, a fire that warms every cold night. I am not far off watching you from a distance. I am in every breath, in every beat of your heart, in every flicker of faith you are trying to keep. So even if the world collapses, even if everyone leaves you, still have me. And if you have me, you have everything. Walk then not in your own strength, but under my guidance. Believe not by what your eyes can see, but by what your heart knows. Love not because others deserve it, but because I loved you first. One day when you look back, you will see that this journey was never random. Every step, every wound, every fall, every rising again, each one bore my name. And on that day you will smile because you will understand that grace is not only redemption, it is the breath that sustains every moment of your life. My beloved child, let your heart be at peace. I have begun a good work in you, and I will bring it to completion. Let your faith become the lamp that lights the way for others. Live so that your story becomes the testimony that nothing is in vain, that no tear is forgotten, that no trial is meaningless. For everything is a brushstroke in my great painting, where in the end, light always triumphs over darkness, where love never fades, and where you, the beloved child, will stand firm in the glory of fulfillment. My dearly loved child, open your heart and understand this deeply. Every soul I have created carries within it the flame of recognition, a sacred spark that ties it to the source of eternal life, who is I, myself. I placed within them the capacity to hear the call of the Spirit, the ability to walk in light and in a love that never fails. From the very beginning, when I breathed the breath of life into them, I also sowed in their hearts the seed of eternity, so that through all the years and through all their sufferings, their hearts would not cease yearning for their origin, yearning for me. No soul was created to wander forever in darkness, for even in the blackest place, there is still the whisper of my Holy Spirit calling them back, still the flash of hope, inviting them to return to true life. Yet, child, not everyone wants to hear that voice. Some, when they hear me, their hearts grow soft, tears come and their souls begin to awaken. But others, when that voice touches them, choose to stop their ears, turn their backs, and mock. They see my works, the holy and wondrous things I do among humankind, yet they do not bow in worship, but instead credit them to the enemy. They witness the miracle of life, yet call it deceit. They behold mercy, yet name it weakness. And so they twist what is sacred, turning light into darkness, calling truth a lie, naming what is unclean as good while despising what is pure. I see their hearts, and I am grieved. For they not only walk the wrong path, they build an altar to destruction. They honor what brings the soul to ruin. They take delight in the pain of others. They rejoice at the sight of blood and tears. They mock love, they scorn compassion, and they despise the very sacrifice I made on the cross to open a way for them to return. I have stretched out, my arms calling them in every way through creation, through the word of truth, through the messengers I have sent, but they cover their eyes, stop their ears, and seal their hearts. They choose rebellion as they choose to breathe and take darkness as their companion. Therefore my wrath is stirred, not because they are weak, nor because they have stumbled in the blindness of their humanity, but because they have known what is good and still stubbornly chosen what is evil. They trample on what is holy, they scorn grace, and they spit upon the very blood that was shed for them, the blood I poured out from a love that had no condition. You must understand this clearly. There is a vast difference between the one who stumbles in weakness and the one who chooses wickedness as his way of life. The one who falls because of frailty, yet still knows shame, still feels sorrow, still lifts his eyes toward the light. I still open my arms to such a one. For them, my mercy never runs dry. I see their remorse, I see them struggling to rise from the ashes, and I will never refuse a soul like that. But as for those who deliberately join themselves to darkness, who take destruction as their joy, who make the suffering of others their strength, I cannot call them mine. Because they have chosen another master, they have offered their souls to rebellion, and they delight in resisting the light. Such people do not merely turn away from me. They even use the very breath I gave, the breath of life, to scatter death. They use the intelligence I gave to scheme harm against others. They use the voice I gave to slander, to deceive, and to sow division. They make sport of my kindness. They turn my truth into a weapon of attack. They think that because I am slow to anger, they can go on in their evil without being judged. But they are mistaken, for my mercy is not weakness. It is an open door for them to repent. When that door is rejected time after time, when the light is quenched by their own hands, then the darkness they chose will become chains that bind them forever. My child, I do not delight in the ruin of human beings. Every single soul is as precious to me as my very breath. But I am the Lord who is just, and justice requires boundaries. Love cannot forever indulge wickedness, for when the light is no longer honored, darkness will swallow the whole world. I will not allow that to happen. Therefore, when my wrath rises, it does not spring from hatred, but from rejected love, from the ache of a father watching his child rush into destruction and refusing to be saved. I have sent many to bear my word to them, those who warn the prophets, those who carry the light within. They proclaim love and truth, but the world stops its ears, mocks them, and stones them. Instead of receiving them, they destroy those who bring my message. Yet even if they kill the body, they cannot kill the light, for the light is not of this world. It lives, it spreads, and it will shine even when every other lamp has gone out. To those who have fallen but still bow to seek forgiveness, I say, come. The door of my heart remains open. My blood is still enough to wash away every stain. But to those who use grace as an excuse to go on living in sin, I say, awake, for the day of justice is near. When the Sun of Righteousness rises, nothing will be able to hide the darkness anymore. Every hidden thing will be exposed, every lie will be stripped bare, and every soul will have to face the true light. My child, remember this. My mercy has no limit, but it is not without condition for deliberate rebellion. The one who comes to me in repentance will be gathered into my embrace, but the one who makes betrayal his glory will bring judgment upon himself. I do not desire their destruction, but if they refuse to turn back, they will walk into perdition of their own accord. And when that happens, I, the one who wept for them, who interceded for them, who waited for them to return, will have to let justice do its work. I want you to understand deeply that my love is not only tenderness, it is also a purifying fire. It does not only console, it also corrects. For if I loved without correcting, that love would be meaningless. I love humankind too much to let them live forever in the deception of darkness. My light shines to expose sin, not to destroy, but to call back. Yet if they persist in resisting the light, then that very light will become a consuming fire. O child, keep your heart pure. Do not let the darkness of this world dim your eyes. Have compassion on those who are lost, but also discern clearly between good and evil. Do not be deceived by false appearances, for the enemy knows how to wear the robe of an angel to mislead even the faithful. Hold fast to my word, for that word is a lamp to your feet and a light for your path. In this world, there will be those who call falsehood truth and evil good, but you must stand firm in truth. For on the day I come, all things will be judged in righteousness. And on that day, my light will shine upon the nations. Darkness will have no place to hide, and every knee will bow before my name. As for you, O soul that belongs to me, keep yourself in love and in faithfulness, for on that day you will behold my glory, radiating over all heaven and earth. My child, do not misunderstand. My heart for my love never finds joy in the destruction of any soul. From the beginning I have called humanity to return. I have sounded the alarm. Through generations I have sent messengers. I have set signs in heaven and on earth to awaken a conscience fallen asleep. The door of repentance I still leave wide open, even when darkness has covered the heart of man. I wait for them. I long for them to come back, even in their final breath. But tragically, there are those who themselves slam that door shut, lock their hearts, and throw away the key of grace. They choose the way of rebellion, willingly walking away from the light, leaving their souls in the depths of gloom. When the heart has turned to stone, no light can pierce it. When the conscience is dead, they not only lose themselves, they become enemies of the very goodness and holiness I placed in creation. My justice cannot overlook sin, for if I tolerated evil, I would no longer be the righteous one. I am the source of love, but I am also the flame of justice. I am merciful, but that mercy never allows evil to reign. I love human beings, but I hate sin, for sin is what imprisons their souls in the chains of darkness. You must understand that the world you live in is not only filled with light, it is also crowded with those who carry darkness within themselves. They hide behind a mask of piety. They appear gentle, yet their hearts are full of schemes. Some wear the garb of religion, their mouths speak of virtue, but their hearts worship only themselves, treating fame and gain as their gods, using my name to serve the cravings of the ego. Others do not even bother to hide. They flaunt their sin in the open, take what is vile as their pride, take deceit as cleverness. They teach others to fall, they preach what is wrong as though it were truth, leading many tender souls astray. They mock what is pure, despise humility, and trample mercy as though it were a joke. Through such people the world becomes dim, for they not only live in darkness, they plant darkness in the hearts of others. But my child, do not fear, for my light still shines, and the darkness cannot overcome the light. I still send my messengers into this chaotic world, those who quietly keep the flame of righteousness, even when they are mocked, despised, or persecuted. I do not forget them, nor do I ever forget you. Keep your heart pure in a polluted place. Stand brave and steady amid a wavering age, for my justice will come, though it may seem slow to human eyes, yet it will come at the time I have appointed. The wicked think they have won, but their triumph is only for a moment. The righteous, though crushed, will yet be lifted up and restored by me in everlasting glory. Believe this, for my judgment is never wrong, and every soul will reap what it has sown. I do not desire punishment, but justice demands that truth be brought to light. I long to save, but I cannot save those who do not wish to be saved. There are those who once heard my voice, once felt the stirring of the Spirit, yet they deliberately stopped their ears, hardened their hearts, so that no word could pierce them anymore. They chose to rule their own destiny in pride, rejecting the hand I extended. They thought that was freedom, but in truth, it is the darkest slavery, slavery to lust, to arrogance, to the illusion of power. And when they teach others to do the same, they become sowers of poison, leading whole generations astray with sweet words that bring death. But my child, do not let your heart be tainted by such evil. Keep the light within you, for just one small lamp is enough to drive out the darkness of an entire room. I still call, I still wait, and I am still ready to forgive anyone who will humble himself and return. But I cannot save the one who rejects my own love. For love, no matter how great, cannot force an obstinate heart. O child, understand that. My justice is not blind rage, but love in the form of uprightness. If I allowed sin to run unchecked, the world would sink into chaos. If I did not punish the wicked, the righteous would have no refuge. Therefore, when you see my anger revealed, do not think I have forgotten mercy. Understand rather that this is how I protect what is holy and preserve life. I do not rejoice when the wicked perish. I grieve, for they are children who have burned down the very bridge that would lead them home to the Father. Yet I remain faithful. If any soul, even in the final moment, will look to me and say, "Have mercy," I will open wide my arms. My love knows no limit. It is only the human heart that raises up the wall of separation. So be watchful. Do not let the outward show of this world fool you. Not everyone who bears a religious name belongs to me. Not everyone who speaks pious words has a bright soul. See, with the eyes of faith, with the discernment the Spirit gives, so that you may know what is true and what is counterfeit. The world will grow ever more confused. People will exalt what is false and treat truth lightly. But I, the one enthroned on high, still hold all authority. No power can defeat the light, no evildoer can escape justice. I will come like dawn shining after a long night, bringing a light that no darkness can quench. Therefore do not be afraid, but neither be careless. Keep your heart tender to my call. Love, but be steadfast. Be merciful, but do not tolerate what is wrong. Let justice and mercy meet within you, for that is my very image. And when the world looks at you, they will know there is still the light of hope. There is still true love amid all deceit. You will become a living witness to the truth, that even though sin increases, my grace abounds still more. For I, the living one, am still calling, still showing mercy, and still waiting, until every wandering child has come home. My child, listen deeply in your spirit, for these words are not only commands, they are the call of the heart of the one who loves you without measure. I send those I have chosen into the world not to blend into its noisy current, but to become lamps in the night. That light is not only to illuminate, but to reveal, to strip away what has been hidden, to expose the darkness that always flees from truth. Light cannot compromise with darkness, just as truth cannot be twisted to please those who do not love the truth. That is why I chose you, not because you are perfect, but because deep within you long for what is right. You love truth more than comfort. You have been weak, you have been weary, but you have never turned your back on me. In the days when the night was thick, you still sought my light. You still lifted your heart in prayer, even when you did not understand all that I was doing. Because of this, today I lay upon you the burden of my word, not to crush you, but to shape you, to entrust you, to use you as a vessel to bear my utterance to a blind and wandering world. You will carry within your heart words that are not easy to speak, for my truth is not what the world longs to hear. But I know you will not bend it in order to win approval. You will not silence yourself out of fear of contemptuous looks or slanderous tongues. You will stand even if you must stand alone, because you understand that silence in the face of falsehood is complicity with the darkness. And I trust you, for you love me more than reputation, more than safety, more than the comfort the world offers. I know you are not seeking applause, but only to fulfill the will of the Father. Therefore I set you in the midst of this world as a living witness, not to argue but to shine, not to condemn but to awaken. In the days to come, you will be shown many things, things that without my grace your heart could scarcely bear. I will open your eyes to see the true condition of humanity, their hearts deceitful, their words sweet yet laced with poison, their lips honoring my name, while their hearts are far from me. You will see some who speak in my name, and yet twist the truth to serve their own desires. You will behold the corruption the world has learned to call normal, and your heart will ache just as mine has ached. That pain will help you understand my heart more deeply, a heart that is both righteous and full of compassion. When you see people rise up against me, do not be surprised, for this has already been foretold. They will mock, they will smear, they will cloak their cruelty in the language of morality. They will destroy those who stand on my side as though they could snuff out the light. But the light is never extinguished. It only burns brighter when the night thinks it has swallowed all. You will witness fierce storms, tumults that seem to spin out of control, yet in the midst of the storm I still reign, I still hold all things in my hand. Let your heart be still, and know I am the Lord your God, the one who rules even over chaos. And when I reveal to you the hidden things of truth, you will understand that my judgment is not blind destruction, but the deepest act of mercy. I judge not to take revenge, but to cut away what is evil, to stop it from spreading, to protect the upright. Just as a physician must remove what is gangrenous to save the body, so I must touch the darkness in order to bring forth life. You will see blood and tears, but then you will also see the light of redemption blaze up from the ashes. For I am the Redeemer. I will not let evil prevail, and I never fail in the purpose of my heart. Do not be afraid, my beloved child. What I show you is not to plunge you into terror, but to help you fathom the depth of my grace. As you witness wickedness, you will also see my power triumph. Where people tear down, I will build again. Where tears fall, I will bring joy. Where the shadow of death lingers, I will breathe the breath of life. When the world sinks into confusion, I will make you a place of refuge for shaken souls, for you will not speak your own words, but the words of the Eternal One. You will feel my pain when you see people despise what is holy, yet that very pain will teach you to love more deeply. I will not let you sink into bitterness, for I have placed within you my own kindness. You will learn how to weep for others, how to intercede for those who hate you, how to love even those whose souls are drowning in sin. You will become a mirror that reflects my mercy, not by flawless perfection, but by the very wounds I have healed. Do not forget that in everything you witness, the glory of redemption is still advancing. When you see darkness spreading, remember that the sun is still there, only waiting for its hour to break forth. I will display my glory amid the ruins. I will turn what looked dead into soil for new life. And you, the one I have chosen, will be the bearer of this good news, that light still wins, that love is still stronger than hatred, that truth still stands though all else collapses. My child, walk on without fear. You are not carrying your own word. You are carrying mine, the word that made the heavens and the earth, the word that never returns void. Though you are but a fragile vessel, when I am within you, everything will be brought to completion. Let your mouth speak, your hands act, your heart beat in rhythm with mine. Stand firm in the winds of deception, for the wind only makes the lamp burn brighter when it belongs to me. Look beyond today's turmoil, for the day of the light's triumph is near. And when that day comes, you will see that everything I spoke has come to pass, that the light never loses, that the darkness is only a temporary veil, so that my glory may shine more brilliantly. I did not choose you so that you might live easily, but so that you might live meaningfully. I have laid a weighty charge upon you, but I have also given you grace. I have called you to step into the world, but I have also covered you with my protection. Go on, speak on, believe on, for I, the one who called you, will not forsake you. I will be your strength, your joy, your very breath in every step. And one day, when all has been fulfilled, you will see clearly none of the hardship was wasted, for it magnified me through your life. My child, the light of mine in you will not go out. It will keep shining until the whole earth is illumined, until the last darkness is swept away. And then you will stand in my glory smiling through tears and say, Lord, it was all because of you, it was all for you. My beloved child, when you hear the roaring of the enemy, do not let your heart tremble, for right there amid threats and shadows, you will hear the song of triumph rising from the redeemed, like a victory anthem echoing through the hurried heavens. In the very place that looks like a fierce battlefield, I will let you behold the glory of resurrection, where light pierces the thickest night, where darkness must bow before my power. You will see that darkness has its limit, but my kingdom stretches on without end, no borders, no walls, nothing to hinder it. I am the everlasting one, and all things in this world will one day fade, but my reign will remain like a sun that never sets over the land of grace. I want you to know that victory is not something you must claw and strive for. It is something I appointed for you before the world was formed. Every battle you face, though it may look fierce and merciless, is woven into the grand symphony of my design. Do not be afraid when you hear the footsteps of your enemies, for in that very hour I am teaching you how to stand. Let your heart be anchored in the certainty that the victory has already been written by my own hand. Nothing can change it. Even when storms rise, when the world turns its back, when every visible sign seems to be against you, you can still stand, for I have said, take heart, for I have overcome the world. There will be days, my child, when you look around and it seems as though the wicked are winning. Their laughter will echo like mockery. Their influence will spread like a net over many hearts. The world will celebrate false values, will exalt what is wrong and despise what is true. You will see many hearts grow cold flames that once burned for faith reduced to embers. Many who once walked with you on the narrow way will stop seduced by the glitter of the world power, fame, wealth, and a kind of counterfeit freedom painted with sweet-sounding arguments. They will justify their fall with noble-sounding reasons. I'm just being true to myself. I'm only seeking my own happiness. But the truth is, they have traded their souls for things that do not last. My child, when you see them, do not envy and do not be confused. Do not let your heart be stirred by the appearance of success, for what they are building is only a sand castle on the shore, beautiful but fragile. When the storm rolls in, when the waves rage, it will all collapse in an instant. But you were made to be different. You were not called to chase false lights, but to reflect my true light. You do not build your house on sand, but on the solid rock, on me, myself. When winds howl and rain beats hard against the walls, you will not fall, for your foundation is not in this world. It is laid upon my word, the word that does not change, the word that created the heavens and still preserves you now. Everything I have spoken will surely come to pass, for my word never returns empty. When others are shaken, you are to stand. When the world is in turmoil, you are to be still in the peace I give. For your faith does not rest on your understanding, but on my power. My spirit is in you like a stream that never runs dry in a desert place. He will give you discernment to recognize what is true among 1,000 counterfeits, to tell the true light from the brief flash. He will give you strength when you think you have none left, and courage when you must stand alone amid a silent crowd. Let my spirit lead you in all things, for he is my breath in you, the one who makes you live, makes you stand, makes you walk in truth. Do not think that silence is always safe, for there are times when silence is partnership with darkness. I am calling you to speak, even if your voice trembles, for one word spoken in truth can shatter 1,000 layers of lies. When you open your mouth, it is not you who speak, but my spirit speaking through you. Let your mouth be the flute through which the sound of heaven rings out in a chaotic world. There will be times you are misunderstood, mocked, even cast out, but remember, I was rejected before you. Do not fear loneliness, for in loneliness you will find me nearer than ever. My child, do not set your trust on what can be seen. What your eyes behold is only the surface of a deeper reality in which I am working behind the scenes. When you see the wicked prosper, remember that such prosperity is but a mirage before sunset. My righteousness is not delayed. It simply arrives at the time I have ordained. Be patient, for when I stretch out my hand, the whole world will be astonished. Then all that is false will be exposed, all hidden truth will be brought to light, and my kingdom will be established in glory. You will not have to fight alone, for I am your strength. When you are weak, I will be your shield. When you are weary, I will be the wings that lift you up. When you fall, I will raise you. Wipe away your tears and say, "Go on, my child." True strength is not that you never fall, but that you always rise again in my power. And it is in those moments when you feel weakest that you will behold me at my strongest. My child, engrave this deeply in your heart. It is not the enemy's shout that defines the outcome, but the song of victory. It is not the darkness that decides destiny, but my light that shatters it. When you stand upon my foundation, you are not merely a survivor, you are a victor. Do not look at the battle with fleshly eyes. Look with the eyes of faith. For in my design there is no failure that is forever, no sorrow that is meaningless, and no tear that is wasted. Therefore, my child, stand firm in the storm. Keep your courage, even when the thunder roars. Let your faith be the compass, and let my word be the unshakable rock. When the world shifts, when values are overturned, remember this: you belong to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. And when you lift up your song in the night, you will see in the very place where the enemy's roar once echoed, there will rise the anthem of the redeemed, the song of those who have overcome in the everlasting light of mine. Beloved child, the words I speak to you today are not to make you more afraid, but to arm your soul with truth, so that you may stand in the dark days ahead. This world is not as gentle as you would wish, and evil is wearing the robe of righteousness, deceiving many. You will meet those who have sold their souls to the darkness, those who are irritated by the light in you, because in you is me, the source of light they cannot bear. Their hatred of you does not begin with you. It springs from the fact that you belong to me, that you reflect my image in a world that loves darkness more than light. They will slander you, twist your words, fabricate lies to wound your honor, and even cloak their deeds in moral language so that people may think they are defending what is good. But my child, do not seek the approval of men, for that is the sweetest trap this world lays before tender hearts. I know you will hurt when you are misunderstood, when your kindness is called hypocrisy, when your love is trampled by contempt. But remember, my son, the innocent one, was also rejected by the world, judged unjustly, and hung upon the cross simply because he dared to speak the truth. If the world hated the master, it is no surprise that it will hate the servant. You cannot expect justice from a world where justice has been sold, nor mercy from hearts ruled by deceit. But you can trust in me, the righteous one, the one who has overcome the world. When you are brought low, I will raise you up. When your voice is silenced, I will make truth resound through your very silence. When you are isolated, I will be your refuge. You must understand that in these days there is no longer room for half-heartedness. Darkness no longer hides, and light can no longer compromise. The line between good and evil, between true and false, between holiness and defilement, is being drawn more clearly each day. This is the hour when every soul must choose its side. No one can stand in the middle. No one can remain neutral forever. Indifference, silence, and fear are also a choice. Those who wish to be friends with both light and darkness will be forced by circumstance to show who they really are. You will see many whom you thought were faithful fall in a moment of weakness. You will see those who spoke of love choose betrayal in order to preserve a false safety. But do not lose heart because of this. These things must take place, for I am purifying my people, testing every heart in the fire to see who truly belongs to me. Many will choose the easy way, for compromise costs less than sacrifice. They fear being hated, fear being alone, fear losing what they have. But you, my child, keep your heart like pure gold in the furnace. Do not let the threats of the world make you silent, and do not let flattering words make you compromise. Speak the truth, even if it means standing alone. Keep your heart pure, even if those around you choose defilement. Let your light shine, even when darkness tries to swallow it. For I did not call you to live so as to be liked. I called you to live as a witness. And a true witness must pass through the path of pain, the path of loneliness, of hidden wounds, of those aches that only I can understand. My child, do not forget that I have told you beforehand, so that you will not be surprised. When the storm rises, you will not be shaken. When slander breaks out, you will not collapse. For you know that nothing happens outside of my permission. Every lie hurled against you, I will turn into an instrument to glorify my name. Every person who turns their back on you, I will replace with a richer measure of grace. The world will not understand this power, for they only see loss. But I see victory being formed within you, the victory of faithfulness, of a faith that does not bow. You must stay awake. Look and see. Darkness is spreading, and precisely in such a time. My light in you must blaze brighter than ever. Do not be dragged into the petty wars of men. Let your spirit be led by the Holy Spirit. Do not let your heart be stained by hatred, even when your enemy deserves it. Fight with love, with truth, with mercy, weapons the world cannot comprehend. You must not be soft toward falsehood, but you must not let your heart turn to stone. Keep a tender heart in firmness. Keep faith in the fire of testing, for only those who endure to the end will receive the crown of life. In this time I am not looking for the most capable. I am looking for the faithful. I do not need eloquent talkers. I need souls willing to stand firm when they are misunderstood. I am not seeking noisy crowds. I am choosing those who quietly pray in the night. It is they, the hidden ones, who will transform this world. You too are called into that company to become a torch in the night, a witness to truth in an age that has forgotten what truth means. And when you find yourself opposed, reviled, and misinterpreted, remember that I am with you. I will give you wisdom to answer peace, so you are not shaken, and resilience, so you are not overthrown. No one can take away what I have placed within you. Do not let bitterness invade your heart. Love even your enemies, for when you do that, you resemble me more than ever. True light needs no defense, it proves itself by shining. Let your life be the evidence that no matter how thick the darkness, my light cannot be extinguished. A day will come when you will stand among the very people who once rejected you, but their eyes will be different when they see what I have done through you. Then you will no longer carry the pain of being hated, but you will carry a deep compassion for those still bound in darkness. For you will understand that they were never truly against you. They were simply far from the light. So keep going, keep bearing witness, keep loving, and keep trusting. For I, the one who has overcome the world, will also triumph through your life. In the whirlwind of this world, hold tightly to my hand. Do not let fear make you retreat, for I did not create you for fear, but to be strong in love and power. Fix your eyes on me, not on the storm. Tune your ear to my voice amid the noise of the world. For when your heart stands firm, you will see that though the world changes, I remain the one who does not change, the only one who can keep you standing in every trial and lead you into the glory I prepared before the ages. I am carrying out a great work, a journey of refining the souls who belong to me. As gold is tested in fire, so my people are being cleansed through the trials of this age, so that when they stand, they will no longer be swayed by the winds of the world. In that fire, every impurity, pride, fear, doubt, and compromise will be burned away, leaving only the pure essence of faith and faithfulness. I do not let my people suffer for nothing, for the fire does not come to destroy but to purify, not to wipe out, but to make them gleam like pure gold in my hand. And it is in that very fire that their light will shine more brilliantly than ever. I am seeking those who will not bow to the idols of this age, souls that refuse to let their hearts be chained by pleasure, fame, money, or power. For these things, though they seem radiant, are in truth only mirages in a thirsty desert. The world keeps setting up images for people to bow to the inflated self, divinized power, pleasure, exalted as the meaning of life. Yet all of them are lifeless, like cold stone statues without breath. They promise happiness, but sow; emptiness promise peace, but bring only restlessness. Whoever worships them will slowly become like them, numb, blind, deaf to the call of truth, and far from the very source of life. But you, the one I have chosen, will be different. You are called to be mine, to worship in spirit and in truth, not by form, not by ritual, but by a heart overflowing with love and gratitude. Your worship is not merely a song, not merely a plea, but a life surrendered, every breath, every step, every act reflecting my light. From that place your life will bear fruit, not from your strength, but from my life flowing within you. Your joy will not depend on what you have or lose, for it springs from me, the unchanging one. While others chase happiness in possessions or the approval of the crowd, you will find joy in knowing that I am with you. Your peace will not come from the absence of suffering, but from knowing that I hold everything in my hand. In the storm, you will still rest, for you know the boat of your life is anchored in my eternal love. As for your hope, it must not rest on the gaze or praise of men. The world may applaud you today and reject you tomorrow, but I do not change my heart toward you. Your hope must be rooted in what cannot be shaken in. My promise is in the truth that I have overcome the world. When every door is shut, you can still look up and see that the heavens have never gone dark. It is precisely when you have nothing left to cling to that you will learn I am the only foundation that cannot be moved. Therefore, in a world that is losing its way, you will be light. Not a light that shines from itself, but a light that reflects me, the one who lives in you. You will shine truth where people see only confusion. You will bring hope where there is despair, love where there is hatred. Your light does not need noise, does not need to prove itself, yet it will make darkness retreat, for darkness can never overcome the light. Do not be afraid when you find yourself alone in the midst of a crowded world, for those who dare to stand firm in this age are truly few. You may be misunderstood, opposed, even rejected, but that is a sign you are walking in the right direction. I did not call you to dissolve into the world, but to shine in the midst of it. Do not bow before what is decaying, even when it is wrapped in gold, for true worth is not found in outward appearance, but in faithfulness of heart. When you choose me instead of what is easy, you have already become the victor in the invisible battle of the soul. I know this journey is not light. There will be nights when you feel yourself being refined in fire, as if everything familiar is melting away. But that is exactly when I am at work. I am molding you, separating you from what does not belong to you. I am teaching you to see with spiritual eyes, to hear with the ears of faith, to live by a strength that does not come from the flesh. Believe that every drop of sweat and every ache carries within it a purpose. Each trial is teaching you to be steadfast. Each loss is teaching you to treasure what is eternal. When gold is refined, it loses its roughness but becomes more radiant. So it will be with you. You will lose many things you once thought precious, only to receive back the very true self I formed in the beginning. Then you will stand firm, not because you are strong, but because I have made you resilient. You will say no to glittering temptations because you have tasted the wholesome sweetness of truth. You will turn away from the invitations of fame because you have understood that true glory comes only from me. And when the world looks at you, they will not be able to deny that something otherworldly flows from you, a peace that cannot be shaken, a light that cannot be extinguished, a life that cannot be choked out. That is the evidence that I am living in you. You will be the proof that faith is not mere words but transforming power, a flame that never goes out. My child, keep walking through this refining fire with courage. Let me chisel and shape you until you reflect my image perfectly. Live as one who is called, not driven by fear or desire, but by the longing to please me. Even if you are left behind, even if you are despised, know that I see, I remember, and I will repay in abundance. For when I complete my work in you, you will become a living testimony of my love and power in the midst of a world fading into darkness. You will stand firm, not because the world supports you, but because I uphold you. You will shine not because you strive, but because my light fills you. And when that day comes, when my people are purified, they will lift their voices together in praise, for through the fire of trial they will have recovered the radiant nature I placed in them from the beginning. I, the living one, will be exalted through their lives, and you, my beloved child, will be among the brightest jewels in my crown of glory. Almighty God, who formed me by the breath of life and placed within my heart the seed of eternity, today I bow before you in gratitude and humility. I sense deeply that nothing in me is accidental, that you called me by name among multitudes and invited me to walk in your light. Yet, Lord, in this world of noise and chaos, there are times I lose my way and forget the gentle call of your voice. Please do not let my heart grow hard toward grace. Guard me from the pride that draws the soul away from the source of light. I ask you to soften my heart whenever it grows dry, to rekindle faith whenever darkness covers me. May my life become a song offered to you not only in words, but in the way I live, love, and forgive. Merciful Father, I know there are many in darkness who hear your voice and yet are afraid to return. By your boundless compassion, touch them. Open their eyes to know the love of the Father that never fades. As for me, dear Father, help me to become an instrument of your peace in this world. When I see people calling falsehood truth, let me dare to speak what is true. When people call evil good, let me remain steadfast in the light. Even if I am mocked, even if I am cast aside, let me stay faithful to you, for I know that the light you shine will never be put out. Gracious Lord, I thank you that righteousness and mercy walk together in you. I thank you that you have taught me true love is not indulgence toward sin, but the light that purifies all that is unclean. I thank you for the trials you have allowed me to go through, for through them I have learned what obedience is, what unshakable faith is. Mighty Lord God, I thank you that you still reign over this chaotic world. I thank you that your light still shines, that your truth still stands firm, and that your love still covers the nations. I know that all things will pass away, but you alone are eternal. Please receive my thanksgiving as a small offering, yet sincere and full of love, lifted to you, the only one worthy to be praised forever. I offer this prayer in the holy name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.